Díomh agus fáilte ag clár Community Focus. Hello and welcome to the Community Focus programme on CavanTV.com. This programme is sponsored by Eason's of Main Street Cavan and Pearse Street Mullingar. This programme is live on the internet every Wednesday at 8 p.m. This programme is dedicated to all things community in County Cavan. If you would like to comment on the show or have your community initiative or issue featured, please contact us on email at drumnamedia@gmail.com or on our Facebook page. And joining me now in the studio with the Cavan SPCA, we've Laura and Paula, and a very, very special guest, Bernie. Bernie, you're going to make her TV debut.
Kind of see. There we go.
I was afraid she was a bit camera shy, but not at all. She's absolutely beautiful. Is she the official mascot of Cavan SPCA?
She would be one of the mascots. All the volunteers would have kind of own dogs that they've either rescued or just dogs themselves, and we tend to bring them out to any of the fundraising events that we have. But Bernie herself is a rescue dog.
Is she a rescue dog?
She's a rescue dog. I rescued her 3 years ago. She's going to run off now and I'll have to rescue her again. I rescued her about 3 years ago. Her owners were emigrating and they kind of abandoned her and her boyfriend. So we took herself in and we rehomed the male using Cavan SPCA to help us. And that's how I came across as being decided to become a member then after that.
Right, and Paula, how many people are volunteering, or would you have a number of
we probably have a core group of maybe between 10 and 12 people that would be doing the work on a daily basis.
What kind of work would be involved?
There's a lot of administration work involved. Being a charity, we would have to adhere to strict kind of guidelines. So there'd be administration stuff involved. Then there's background work by way of the fundraising, coming up with ideas, organising the fundraising themselves through bucket shakes, making sure we have the planning permission for stuff like that. We'd also then have the people who look after our Facebook page, our websites, and are just in touch with the rest of the community to try and get the word out there. And then apart from those people, then we would have fosterers throughout the county that would look after the dogs.
That'd be on a short-term basis that they'd take the dog in?
Some of them would be short-term, some of them might be a little bit longer-term if it takes kind of that bit longer to get the dog rehomed.
But they're with a foster.
But they'd be with a foster carer, and it could be, they could be on their own with the foster carer, or they could be joined in with their other dogs or other animals that have kind of been taken through the system as well. And then the people who look after the administration then would obviously keep in touch with the foster carers to ensure that things are being done properly, and that they're being looked after, and the dogs kind of have everything that's needed.
Very good. There's a lot of work involved.
There's an awful lot of work involved.
Where would the dogs be referred to from? Would it be the dog warden, or would people drop them in themselves?
Some of them are dropped in themselves. Some of them would be just a dog would be spotted around the town straying. And the locals would ring to say there's a dog being straying around kind of for the last number of days or whatever.
And would you get involved in that?
Get out then and try and pick it up. Whoever's closest to it would kind of either go out, be it in a car or just be it on foot, and try and pick the dog up themselves.
Would you try and find that dog's owner then?
What we do is, as soon as we take a dog in, we'll contact the pound to let them know that we have the dog, and we also then will put the photograph of the dog up on our Facebook page. The photographs are usually updated every couple of days on Facebook so that they're aware, people can see what dogs we have at any one time, be it to rehome a dog or just to kind of claim their dog that's gone missing on them.
Many dogs have chips now that you bring in, or not so much?
Very few.
Very few of them would, and I think if they do have the chips either aren't up to date. If the chips are usually put in, if it's a dog that's come from a breeder, it's put in and it would have the breeder's details as opposed to the person who's after buying them, so they're not re-registering in that sense. And then I think the times that we're in, some people, although they've chipped the dog, they can't afford to keep the dog, so they just kind of don't want the dog back, and they don't really know what they can do, so instead the dog is just left out onto the street to fend for itself, or hope that somebody from ourselves will come along and find it and pick it up, and they won't reclaim it. Well, it's not even that they get tired as such, it's just, I suppose it's a big commitment, and they'll just turn around and they won't be able to afford to keep it, with times being tough or whatever, or the novelty, I suppose.
You hear a lot of that at Christmas, that people want to buy dogs, or kids want dogs for Christmas, and then the novelty, as you say, wears off.
Because it is like the average
January.
life would be kind of, maybe 12 to 14 years would be an average life for a dog. So you're talking about if you're going to get a dog, you definitely need to make sure that, yes, long term I'm going to have to give this dog at least 12 years of my life.
And you can't just go away for the weekend and leave a dog.
No.
I mean, you could leave a cat.
Yeah.
Whereas the dog takes that bit more responsibility, and you really couldn't leave a dog.
No,
over
like
the weekend.
there are there's plenty of kind
Kennels,
of kennels and kind of neighbours or whatever, like that you could, like, if you
Yeah.
wanted to go away. And I think now society has even changed that a lot of places are becoming more dog friendly.
Yeah, there's a lot of dog
There's a
friendly
lot of
hotels.
dog hotels
Yeah.
and stuff around, like, so they are realising that dogs are becoming more of a family member as opposed to just a pet who sits out in a back garden or whatnot. Like, they're part of the furniture, I think, at this stage, like, with a lot of people. But then there's still the element of people that just can't afford to keep a dog, or they just don't want to have that commitment anymore, like, so.
Or you were saying that, I think after Christmas, generally.
After
is-
Christmas, January, February, March would be the busiest, 3 of the busiest months with
Really?
dogs.
that January, that it would wear off that quickly, the novelty.
The old dogs, would be dumped out when the new puppies is
Oh,
bought for Christmas presents.
So it is, yeah, it's heartbreaking that you've your old reliable kind of 6-year-old dog, and it's a case of a new puppy comes along, so they don't have time to look after the old dog, which wouldn't require an awful lot of time because they're already house trained and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But the
Not
new
chewing
little
your
cute
shoes
puppy,
or-
like,
Yeah. Oh, that's awful, because the dogs are so loyal.
yeah, that's it. They
And
are
great
like,
company.
they're very loyal altogether.
Bernie, the star of the show here.
Bernie's like, she's not impressed. I don't know what's wrong. We're taking over. That's what's wrong with her.
So you do a lot of fundraising, or you rely really on fundraising, don't you, to try and bring in some money to look after the dogs? How many dogs would you have at any one time?
Tina would normally have between 25 and 30 dogs at any one time. There could be 5 or 6 fosterers with maybe 1 or 2 dogs at any one time.
So you don't have a centre, a shelter for them. You have to foster them out.
We wouldn't
It's a
have.
huge task.
We
Huge
have
undertaking.
a small facility based up at Tina's own kind of private residence,
Mm.
and she would keep, as Laura said there, about kind of 25 to 30 dogs there. And then this year we did build a quarantine unit so that we could actually take in more dogs, but particularly dogs, say, that would be sick, or that would be, the puppies kind of be prone to not necessarily having their injections. So we make sure that we'd be able to rescue them. But in saying that, we wouldn't have a facility that would, say, be open to the public, a drop-in centre like your kind of Dublin SPCA or other centres kind of throughout the country. So it is all purely based on volunteers and other, people, the community opening their homes to these dogs.
So people have to you rely really a lot on Facebook and that to get your message across.
Yeah.
Of,
Yeah,
I think we have some images of dogs and
up for adoption.
yeah, that are up for adoption at the moment. Is that we start? Laura will take us through it.
That's a female black setter that came into the care of Cavan SPCA almost a year ago. He's 4 years old, he's neutered and vaccinated, and he's waiting for his forever home. We'd really love to see this dog as he's been getting a home, as he's been in the care for a long time now.
Yeah, a year is a long time, isn't it? Yeah.
That's Busty, he's a black lab cross, approximately about 1.5 years old. Again, he's looking for his forever home. He's neutered and vaccinated, and he says he's the best boy.
He does.
That's Hope. Hope was picked up at Cavan General Hospital almost a year ago, covered in mange. He was dumped. It's very sad to see that somebody, there he is now, to see somebody dumping a dog in an awful state like that.
Yeah.
We can't thank Tina Cavan SPCA for the care she's put into Hope, and the time and patience she's put into caring for him.
And he's totally okay now again.
Yeah. He went
perfect
into
now.
a quarantine unit. He was in for a long time.
Yeah.
That's Jenny. She was found straying and no owners came forward for her, so she's looking for her forever home. She's 18 months old, neutered and vaccinated.
And they'd all be house trained as well at that stage.
That's a little kitten that came into our care a week ago. She's with one of our fosterers, Siobhan, and is waiting for her new home. Lemon is a hound cross pup, 7 months old, neutered and vaccinated. He was picked up in the car park in Tesco after being dumped, and we assume abused and neglected.
This is the last dog now, I think. Is this?
Monty was took out of the pound on the 23rd of December. He was fostered by myself. He went to his new home in February, and he was returned to us in the first week in July due to unforeseen circumstances. Tina took him back into her care, and he's looking for his new home. He's vaccinated and neutered also.
So do you neuter and vaccinate all the dogs that come into you?
All
You
dogs
do, yeah.
over 6 months old would be neutered and vaccinated.
So that's a huge cost.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah, exactly.
And does anyone do it at a special rate for you, or?
Some of the vets
Yeah.
would kind of, it's not so much that it's done a special rate, but it would be kind of, they would look after us, understanding that we are bringing obviously an awful lot of business into them, and we would have a lot of the vets throughout the county. You know, we'd work with, you know,
You're a
them.
charity, you know.
Yeah, so like we still obviously have to pay for it,
Yeah.
you know, and our bills would be anywhere from kind of 1,500 to £3,000 a month, depending on how much dogs we have in, like.
Yeah.
So as you say, in the likes of our busy times, which would be January, February, March, our bills could go up to close to £5,000 a month.
When we would rehome a dog, we'd ask for a donation of €80. It
Right.
would go towards the cost of neutering and vaccinating of the dog.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, it wouldn't
Well, that's
have
fair enough,
cover
I
it,
mean.
but it is a donation towards it, like, so. Just to, I suppose, try and cut the costs a little bit and get some of the funds back to pump into the next dog.
Mm. Well, there is like there was I don't know, a couple of years ago quite a strong campaign, you know, trying to encourage people to neuter their pets.
Yeah.
But I suppose the uptake on that, I suppose it has increased, but still
We
not at
would-
the levels we'd like to see it at.
Yeah. Like there would still be, and I think there are other, I suppose, charitable organisations that would offer cheaper schemes. The Blue Cross would be one of them, that they'd offer like a voucher scheme, and every year they do send out kind of vouchers. But again, I think it's the times that we're in. Even these larger charities don't have the funds to be able to kind of offer that sort of facilities because of, I suppose, it being a recession and times are tough for everyone. Like, so everyone's finding the pinch.
Would you find it that you getting more animals into you now and less funds?
Yeah, an awful lot more animals, yeah. And I think it's, as I say, it is a sign of the times, like that just people can't. And it's understandable that if, you know, for unforeseen circumstances, people are losing their jobs or people just can't afford to keep on a dog. And in those circumstances, what we'd ask is if people could, for the short term, you know, a couple of weeks while they're, say, rehoming the dog, if they could manage to hold the dog in their home and we'll rehome it through our Facebook page for them, rather than, you know, just either dumping the dog or trying to bring it up to Tina where she doesn't have any more room,
Space, yeah.
or even putting it in the pound, because we do work with the pound. We're not associated, but we'll work with them to try and take the dogs that are there out. And if a dog is put into, if it's voluntarily surrendered to Cavan Pound, by law it can be destroyed immediately. If it's
Okay,
strayed,
how much it's 7 days, yeah.
if it's strayed and it's not rehomed within 5 days, it can be destroyed. And it doesn't matter, it could be Bernie, and they would still just destroy it, like.
Yeah.
A lot of people I don't
destroy
think
any dog,
realise
don't
that
they?
that's
We
why.
have built up a good relationship with the dog pound. In the last year and a half, I think it is, there's been no dogs put down in Cavan County Council dog pound.
Right. Is
Um,
that because you're taking
We
them?
take out as many dogs as we can to get them rehomed.
Yeah.
With the help of Tina Cavan, SPCA inspector, and another couple of rescues, taking a lot of the Cavan pound dogs, which is great.
Guys, just quickly before, because I know we're running out of time, talk about fundraising events.
We have a dog walk that's on this Sunday in Killinkeen Forest Park.
Oh, lovely.
I think it's starting at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock,
Yeah,
yeah.
2 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay.
So people come along, bring their dogs. Dogs have to be on a leash though. That's the only kind of, I
How much
suppose,
do people
requirement.
donate to do that, or is
There was sponsorship cards, but if you don't have a sponsorship card there's a registration of €10 for yourself and your dog.
that's fair enough.
On the day, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that we'll be doing is next month we should be launching our calendar. Every year we bring out a calendar, and we'll sell it in the various different shops throughout the town. So it should be launched next month, and it'll be available then in most of the shops in Cavan Town.
And that
or
would feature
through-
dogs that you have saved?
It's mainly actually taken from the public. We run a competition in the Celt every year, and we get the public to send us in photographs.
Oh,
Yeah.
very good. Well, that creates
So
more
it'll be
awareness. of
yeah,
it.
it could be their kind of animals themselves.
So where can people find out more about Cavan SPCA or make any donations?
The Cavan SPCA Facebook page, there's links up on it about donation via the bank or PayPal.
Great. Well, listen, well done. You're doing fantastic work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Tina as well. No, she couldn't be here. And Bernie, our
Bernie's
special
gone to
guest.
sleep.
She's
saying
very
hi.
good, very quiet. Thank you, Bernie, for coming into Cavan TV.
She's not even paying attention.
She's a great guest. Now we'll just go to a short ad break, and after the ads, I'll have James Smith join us, or also known as Seamus, who will be touring the length of county or of Ireland rather, on a cycle for Temple Street Hospital.
I'm Gavin Duffy, and I'm saying watch cavantv.com. It's a great opportunity to see some great programs, and you can watch it all around the globe via the internet and on many platforms. I watch it myself. Great stuff.
Welcome back. I'm now joined by James, and you're known as Seamus also.
Yes.
Smith, a Cavan man who is going to go the length of the country on a cycle.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the idea. You're going from Mallinhead to Mizenhead to Mallinhead.
Mizzen to Malin, yeah, bottom to top. The reason behind that, the prevailing wind hopefully will be southwesterly.
Giving a little bit of a push.
I hope so, a big push. That's the thoughts behind it, and that's the idea going from there.
Fair play to you. Are you big into cycling, or?
I took up cycling about two and a half years ago.
Okay, so relatively new.
Yeah, I had an old bike in the shed and decided to get it out, and I took it around the block for about 5 kilometres. Almost blew my lungs out of my chest, but I've been bitten by the bug big time. So.
And have you joined any cycling clubs here locally?
Yep, Minalty Cycling Club, and also the guys in the Virginia Triathlon Club. I'll go out there on a Sunday as well with the guys.
You've definitely got the bug then.
Definitely. Cycle to and from work. It's 52k a day.
Wow.
So I'm up to almost 9,000 kilometres this year. So I'm not doing too bad.
No, definitely not.
So, yeah, saved a bit on fuel, I suppose.
That's for sure. It's creeping up and up all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's good. It's great to de-stress up.
So where'd you get the idea to do this?
I seen an article in the paper where some rugby players, they've just completed actually, the Wallace brothers, the three of them were going to undertake cycling. They were going to take 7 days to cycle. So I looked at 600 kilometres. They were doing slightly over 600 kilometres. So I just looked at it and thought, well, I can do 200 kilometres. I've done 200 kilometres. I wonder, could I do it a bit quicker? So the time has shortened, and I thought, well, I'll make a proper challenge of it, and I'm going to try and do it in one day, 24 hours.
600 kilometres.
Try as close as I can to 24 hours. I'm not going to stop.
But will you not be physically exhausted? Have you attempted in your preparations for it? Have you done the 24 hours?
I've not done 24 hours. 300 kilometres is the furthest I've gone, so it's half distance.
Right.
It took me 12 hours.
And how did you get on with that?
It's fine. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that, yeah. And I have about 10 200 kilometre rides under my belt as well, so it was a bit of a step up to go to a 300. So mentally and physically it was a challenge, but no, it's definitely 600 is going to be fun.
And did you learn a lot from the 300? Like, have you? I know you've done an all-nighter or a night
Yeah.
cycle already,
Yeah.
haven't you? So, what did you learn from that you'll be bringing along with you on the?
Probably
It's a solo challenge as well, we should say. You're doing this
Totally,
totally
yeah.
on your own.
totally.
So, do you have anyone following you? Do you have a van following you?
I do, yeah.
Right.
Our company's kindly loaned me the company car, so I've got 3 drivers lined up to do the full route.
Great.
So they will
Instead
be
of
behind.
medical supplies as well. And
Yeah,
because-
God help.
Any falls from the bike?
Yeah, no,
What about
I don't
spare
plan on it.
tires
Yes,
and- yeah.
I've been my bike shop in Virginia, Cyclize, have been very kind. They've loaned me lots of stuff, so I'm well kitted out. So should have no reason to stop.
Fantastic.
Unlike my night cycle where I had 3 punctures on the night cycle, so not in ideal conditions, but
No, and you didn't have any.
No
you had to try
backup.
and repair them there. And
yeah, I had no backup at all, so I was totally on my own. So it was an interesting night. I learned a lot.
And what about even in terms of your health and safety on the night cycle part of it? You know, we wouldn't have the best roads in this country.
No,
So, how were you prepared for that? Is there a car going in front of you and behind you, or
one behind, just
One behind.
behind, but they'll stay very close. They'll literally be side by side, and I have good headlights and should be okay. But yeah, it
You
is
have
always a worry.
signage
There is
on the
always
car as well to say
yeah, we have,
cyclists
and flashing
yeah.
light on the top. So we're well kitted out, I think, from that point of view. So I needed good weather now, the wind with me, and just stay safe. That's the main thing. So looking forward to it, definitely.
Yeah, well, it's some challenge to take
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, it's a good cause.
Yeah, so I
It's a
just
very
want to
good
get
cause.
to that. You're doing it for Temple Street
Yeah,
Hospital.
Yeah.
Any particular reasons, or why did you select them as your
Yeah,
charity of choice?
it's a good friend of mine from the Minolta Club was telling me a story about his little girl 3 years ago. She was in intensive care in Temple Street and spent 12 days in there. Wasn't expected to survive. Thankfully she did, and she had a 4th birthday there recently.
Yeah.
And he posted a picture on Facebook, and that's what prompted me to choose Temple Street. And I met little girl Aoife last night for the first time,
Oh.
and she's just started school, so
Ah.
little chatty little girl, so she's lovely, really nice. So it's a good news story, really it was. So
Well, they do wonderful work
Mm.
there.
absolutely. So that sort of galvanised the reason I should choose Temple Street as the charity. They've been very helpful as well, giving me hints and tips on fundraising and the like. So it's been good. It's been a good relationship there.
So it's not normal though for doing this cycle in actually just the one day, is it?
No, the norm is 5 days, but that's easy. Anybody can do.
And you're
120
not stopping there for food. You know, are you not going to take small little breaks?
I
or
will have
how?
small little breaks.
Yeah,
loo.
but you're not actually
Go
going
to
to
loo.
rest. Yeah, true.
I can eat on the go, and I have found when you go above 200 kilometers, you don't really feel like eating very much. It's only small, so you only have nibbles anyway. So you have a banana or something on the bike. So the car again will come in handy, where they can pass me some stuff. So
And water and
water, yeah.
yeah.
Carry some of it on the bike, but
Mm.
we'll try and keep moving. And the idea is to be in Donegal for the second half of the All Ireland. So,
To be coming into Donegal the day, should this Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you're going this Saturday
Yeah.
and at 4 o'clock, isn't it?
4 o'clock, setting off from Mizzen in Cork, up through Limerick, through Athlone, and on to Granard, through Cavan. Should be in
When
Cavan.
will you be in Cavan?
About 8 o'clock in the morning, a Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. Right.
What else would you be
Well,
doing?
we have to try and get a few
You
supporters
can stay
out
up late.
there.
You
yeah.
can stay up late.
So you're coming right through the town, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to stop at the cathedral. Maybe have a 10-minute break there. That's,
Oh, very
that's the
good.
plan. So hopefully.
Brian Daly go out there with Cavan TV at 8 o'clock on Sunday
Absolutely,
morning.
absolutely, yeah, definitely. And I hope to hit Donegal then through Enniskillen, Strabane, Derry, and then on to Missenhead. Hopefully for around
Might
4
be the only one in Donegal though.
The roads should be quiet.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so. And I have spoken to the radio station today, so they're at me to wear the Donegal colours for the whole journey, but I said I'll see. I might wear a little flag or something when I get into Donegal, but
You'd probably be made.
it might be safer.
Yeah.
So we don't get too many chances to celebrate at Sam Maguire, so if they win, I might hang around and have a couple of drinks with them.
Yeah, I suppose both counties in it this year
Yeah.
wouldn't be your traditional
Absolutely,
winners,
yeah.
so
It's an interesting mix. So,
yeah.
but,
Absolutely. So
Very
you've
good.
Also you're encouraging other cycle groups to come out and join.
Yeah.
Well, it is a solo cycle.
definitely, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
you'd love if cycle groups in the
Absolutely.
various towns
Yeah,
would join
if
you.
you want to do a kilometre, half a kilometre, or 10 kilometres or 100 kilometres, I don't care. It's good. A bit of banter. And I'm sure at that time, I was certainly coming through here at 8 in the morning, no sleep. A bit of G'ing up wouldn't do any harm, so I'll definitely be glad of a bit of company. It's
Look, it's great
Yeah.
encouragement, doesn't
Mm.
it? If someone else coming out to join you, and it's
yeah.
a bit of company for the time. I know
Yeah.
you'll have your lads in the car.
They come, the lads.
Following you, but
The guys in the Minority Club, some of the guys are going to come out as well to join us for a bit. So that's very good. And some of the chaps from Virginia have said they're going to make the effort to get out as well. So it's definitely a good challenge, and I'm sure we might even try it again next year. So if anybody wants, I'm giving plenty of warning now. If anyone wants to start training,
oh, you'll take some company with you next year.
I will. I'll try it this
It'll
year, and
grow
I'll find
every year.
out. I'll find out where the potholes are, and we'll work on it next year. But I have, strangely enough, had a bit of interest from people who wished that I'd made it known earlier. I guess that I was
Mhm.
going to attempt this. They would have tried to do it with me, but next year.
Would you have any objections to anyone joining you at
This
this
year?
stage? Yeah.
Not at all. No. Feel up to doing 600 kilometres? Bring it on.
Well, somebody would seriously have to be doing that. I'm sure. How long have you been preparing for this? When did you get the idea?
Oh, I suppose around April,
Oh, right.
March or April. So I have trained quite hard. My wife and kids have been very patient. I've
They don't really see you, do they?
no, between work and I tend to leave work then, and I cycle. I could do 160, 200 kilometres on my way home. So I take a detour via Mullingar
Right.
towards Athlone and then back up through Kells. So
So this is just like 3 days cycling to you, just put into the one.
well, it is if you put it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see.
So just have squash into 24 hours. That's the key.
Mm.
I'm trying to do it in the 24 hours. So
And what is the longest cycle you've done to date?
just over 300 kilometres.
And
So
that
it's
took
double.
you the 12
12
hours.
hours. So I'm doubling double or quits.
Yeah,
So a good challenge.
it is absolutely. It's the tiredness. Do you not think you feel tired? Or I suppose
yeah.
you must have obviously a very good level of fitness at this stage.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm definitely ready to go. I've been itching to go for the last few days. I actually feel like I'm losing fitness, but I think that's from talking to people who have done similar things. That's the way in your head you think you're losing fitness, but you're actually resting up. So no, I'm definitely ready. I want to get going. So
And I'm sure your family want you to.
they want to come home.
Yeah. Finish this with you.
I promise I'll mow the lawn after this. This is the madness will be over.
They must be very understanding.
Very, very. No, I'm very lucky. They've supported me all the way. As I say, I've taken a lot of time away training for it, but
It'll be worth
yeah,
it.
I hope so. You have to be happy with your own company as well. Yeah, I spend a lot of time on my own, a lot of solitary hours
yeah.
out. So you have to.
Good time to think. Get lots of thinking done.
yeah, too much. I've put the world to rights too many times. No, it's it will be nice to see people out on the road. A couple of people have offered to join me in Cork and Limerick for a couple of kilometres. So I've contacted the clubs
Alright,
around
so
the
you
country.
already have people
I have
lined
contacted.
up.
I've contacted
Right.
all the clubs in the country, warning them of what I'm attempting to do.
Yeah.
And a few people have come back and said they'd like to join me for a couple of kilometres. So I'll meet a few new friends as well. That's half the game as well. You know.
Brilliant.
And that's one thing I'll say for cycling. It's been fantastic. I'd recommend it to anybody. It's like a big family. People doesn't matter what profession you're in, whether you're a bank manager or you're I don't know, dustman. Doesn't matter. We all struggle on the hills the same as each other. Doesn't matter who you are, and that's the beauty of it. It's a great leveler.
Yeah.
I've made fantastic friends in 2 years cycling. I can honestly say I've made fantastic friends. So definitely recommend it.
It'll be a great encouragement, particularly I suppose the latter half of your journey, when you're feeling a little bit tired or anything else, for groups to come out and join you
I'd
will
love it.
really give you a
Absolutely
push
love it,
on.
Yeah, whether they're shouting from the sidelines or they get on the bike, it'd be brilliant. I don't care if they've never ridden a bike, just get on the bike, jump, do a couple of
Absolutely.
kilometres.
Or come in and just wave to you.
I don't mind.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah,
Pass by.
no.
Just quickly now, because I know we're running out of time here, but have you a particular target in mind, and how can people sponsor you, and how can they find out more about it?
If they want to look, I have a Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/Rocket Run Ireland.
Rocket Run Ireland.
Rocket Run Ireland, all one word. If they go on there, there's a link to the Temple Street, the donation. It's a secure link. They can click on that. They can see the reasons why. There's some photographs of Aoife, the before and after when she was in hospital, and they can also see what she looks like now. She's a lovely little 4-year-old. And you can also see I've uploaded a couple of bits about my training, what I've done, a couple of funny stories on my night ride, so you can have a giggle or a cringe, whichever way you want to look at it. And and also my sponsors. Some of my sponsors I've got them up there as well, so it'd be nice to give them a bit of a boost as well. They'd be very, very good. So yeah, the Facebook page is the fastest and the quickest way to get.
And is somebody going to be updating your Facebook page now as you go along?
Yeah.
Great. That's
Somebody in the
brilliant.
car every hour, as
So
near to the
we'll
hour
watch
as we
that.
can. We'll whether you'll be up at 3 or 4 in the morning, I'm not sure, but we'll update it anyway, so you'll have an idea how close we are.
Brilliant.
I'll have the schedule up, so you can sort of compare how we are. Should be coming through
People
at
should have an idea.
Lone. I should be coming through at Lone around 5 in the morning. Granard about 7, Cavan 8, and Enniskillen around 10. So if I'm on schedule,
You should see around 8
you
o'clock.
should
on
see me
Sunday
around
morning.
8
From
o'clock.
Brian Daly.
Well, yeah.
You can wait for that. Listen,
So-
James, thanks a million.
Thank you
and
very much.
we'll certainly update people next week on
Brilliant.
how you get on.
Yeah, that would be
And
brilliant.
best of luck with this on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. And really appreciate you coming in this evening
Thank
to
you for
talk to
having
us
me.
about
It's
it.
great.
Shinjar on Clore, Community Focus and CavanTV.com. We'll be back again next Wednesday at the same time, 8 o'clock. And until then, have a great week. Slán.